Hello and welcome to APMA Podcast. I'm back with another episode for you lovely, lovely people. How are we doing? Hope you're all doing well. Whatever you're doing, it's cold out there. And, there's been some bad weather around. Well, snow. And as we know, as any UK resident will know, the slightest chance of any, I'd say, above 20 to 30 mile an hour winds, heavy rain, light snow, ice build up brings the entire country, the entire set of countries that make up the UK. I don't want to discount Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and England, obviously, do you know what I mean? Just come to an halt. Just complete standstill. And I understand there are places that have bad weather. A lot more. Scotland. I'm looking at you. So, yeah, you might deal with this a little bit better, or you just, you deal with how shit the infrastructure is. But it has seemed like literally any amount of snowfall and people lose their fucking mind. Fair enough. I don't actually remember the last time it did snow here. It snowed here today, and I'm filming this on Wednesday the 11th. Wednesday the 11th? Wednesday the 20th. The reason why I've done that is because my computer, for some reason, I'm guessing it's an American thing. Look, Americans, I'm not taking shots. There's enough of that happening where you are. No, I'm joking. Look, just shut the fuck up, right? It displays the month before the day. Sorry, I'm absolutely wrong. Do you know what? I've got early onset Alzheimer's because it doesn't. I've just read the 11 first. It actually does say the day first, the date. I'm going senile. I am literally embodying Joe Biden right now. Look, I'm filming this on the 20th, is what I'm trying to say. And it snowed here today. Quite heavily. None of it really laid or settled, so it would start building up. Just turned into that really dirty ass minging sleet on the roads and the pavements and stuff. But it's enough to cover your car a little bit. So when I got back in my car after I finished work, I was a bit, fuck's sake, got to wait here to clean the fucking snow off my car. But it's all right. It's all right. I've only got to travel a couple of miles. Not even that. To get back home is fine. It's fine. But I do find, unfortunately, that there is quite a large subset, I don't even know if that's a word, of the UK population that when it snows, drive horrifically. I didn't intend for this to turn into a review of the UK drivers out there, but when there's snow that hits the floor, right, it is almost like an instantaneous, I will now go 15 miles underneath the speed limit. Or I will go 15 miles over the speed limit. There's no in between. There's no in between. You also got people making stupid decisions. Like, they would not be doing this if it was dry. So they start to brake. And I know there's probably going to be people out there go, oh, it's actually best practice to do that. If you weren't such a fucking boy racer, shut the fuck up. I've got a 1 litre fucking Ford Focus. It is an EcoBoost. That makes it even less fucking boy racer, in my opinion. And does it make me feel emasculated? Maybe. But we're not here to talk about that. All right? I'm just saying that I'm not one of these people who razzes it round, tries and cuts little old deers up in their Honda Jazz, right? Because that is an exclusive car to the elderly people. If you drive a Honda Jazz and you're under the age of 65, fuck it, you're under the age of 60. You need to give it back because that is not your car. That's not for you. It's not designed for you. Give it back, pay your reparations, and fucking give it to the old people, right? Give it to the boomerest of the boomers, okay? Because it ain't yours. Give it back. Anyway, enough about that. People just drive, in my opinion, in the most weird way when there's any amount of... It happens in heavy rain, happens in snow. Ice you can understand a little bit, but still it happens pretty much when there's any adverse weather or any risk of adverse weather. So I've had like snow warnings, and today I'm watching someone drive on a straight road. Right, has to be said, straight road. Just for context, there's a set of traffic lights about 100 meters away from where this vehicle in front of mine is. Right, I'll leave before anyone says. I'm leaving a good gap. All right, I'm not right up their arse. All right, I'm not an asshole. I just like people to obey at least the speed limit. Anyway, car in front, 100 meters away from the set of lights. The set of lights change, right? So they're now probably like 90 meters away. Let's just say, for the sake of, 90 meters is quite a distance. It's a 30-mile-an-hour road. They're not going 30 miles an hour. Even at the point that the lights turn red, they're not going 30 miles an hour. 25 at a push. I won't say slam their brakes on, but they apply quite some decent force, like some decent pressure on that brake pedal. They brake hard, right? Then they realise that they've braked maybe a bit too early, maybe a bit too hard. So they release the brake and they coast. And they brake again, quite hard. It was one of the most... I don't know. It's one of those times where you sit and you evaluate the world around you and you think to yourself, rather in the most self-centered and, dare I say it, narcissistic way, that this can only happen to me. Like, I don't hear of anyone. No one's told me before that someone's broke. Is that the correct way of saying it? Someone's not told me before that someone's braked. That's better. Braked 90 meters short of a set of traffic lights when they're only going 25 miles an hour, and they then release the brake and continue to do that about 3 or 4 times until they come to a stop. And you know when someone's not confident at driving, when, and probably, somewhere in the world there's going to be someone who says this is an ick, right? And I would understand. It's got that sort of aura around it. They come to a set of lights, they're slowing down, they're slowing down, they're slowing down, they're slowing down, ever so slightly, and then they push too hard on the brake at the last second, and the car, jolts forwards. I don't know, it just gives me that, you're shit, get off the road. Maybe that's too harsh. Maybe it is too harsh of an evaluation. I'm going to be honest, this is not what I thought I was going to be talking about for this long. I was basically going to say, weather bad, bro, and that was about it. And obviously say take care out there, because there might be some people who are listening to this on your daily commute, or just driving for the thrill of driving, if that's possible to do on UK roads. But yeah, I was just going to say, look out, take care of yourself, watch out for these absolute fucking militant breakers out there. It's completely just off the fucking scale. But the last time we had snow, which I think was about 2 or 3 years ago, I might be wrong. Anyway, in this area, I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago. So we had a lot of snow, bit of ice build up, and close to where I live, there's like a bridge, or an overpass is probably the better way to put it. An overpass that you can turn off of the dual carriageway that the overpass is. It goes over another road, and you can come down to this road that goes underneath the underpass. But to obviously turn into it, you need to go underneath the underpass. So you essentially veer off and down this ramp, and then you have to turn right to go underneath the road that you've just left, right? Bearing in mind it's cold, icy, snowy. This car, and I can't remember what car it was, I think it was a small hatchback, some description, absolutely flees it down the ramp. They're trying to beat the lights, fair play. I would have done the same, probably not at that speed considering the conditions, but anyway. And they brake and it just doesn't stop. Like, they're braking, anticipating being able to turn right. There's a little bit of right steer, and then they just absolutely stack it up the curb. It was just a spectacle to watch, because you're like, everyone, I don't care who you are, or how old you are, or what nationality well, I suppose it does come with a bit of culture, but I'm just saying, every British person at least will have gone, wee, wanker, because I did. It's the same as, completely same, the same sort of situation is when someone drops a plate or glass in a restaurant or a bar. Everyone goes, wee, someone fucked up, because you just laugh at people's mistakes. And that's how we learn. And that's what's wrong with society. Now, it's just like, utter woke nonsense. Oh, let's not laugh at that mistake. Let's build them back up so they make the same mistake again. Sick. Absolutely sweet one, geese. Yeah, I will stop talking about the roads and driving, because it's not that engaging, really, is it? It's not that impressive. Oh, I can drive. I'm a better driver than some people on the roads. Yeah, look, I'm just saying, I'm a pro. And if I weren't fat, I'd probably be an F1 driver. I don't think that's that big of a claim. I really don't. Stick me in an well, I wouldn't fit in an F1 car, let's be real. F1, stick me in a fucking sim, I'm there. I'll be beating everyone. I'll beat Michael Schumacher now. That's because he's in a coma. So that's not really a fair race. But yeah, I'm just saying, I think I'm a half decent driver. Just get out of my way on roads. That's as simple as that, really. Just bow to my greatness and my superior driving skills. That's all there is really to it. There's nothing else I ask more. Just move out of my way. In my 1 litre EcoBoost Ford Focus. But anyway, what are we going to be talking about in this pod? Now, obviously, the keen viewers or people who read the titles of the podcast before you click play, you probably would have guessed from what the title is. Depends how vague I decided to be with the title, I guess. But we're going to be talking about the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight. I know I'm a few days late. It was last weekend. I know. And I didn't watch it. I watched clips of it. I didn't watch it because I can't fully explain how little of a fuck I gave about the fight. Just because it turned out the exact way I thought it was going to go. Not in terms of Jake winning, I just mean it wasn't a very good fight. Because, lo and behold, when you put a 58-year-old, let's round it up to 60, against a 27-year-old, which will round up to 30, when you put like a best part of 30-year difference, it's quite a large mountain to overcome for basically a 60-year-old who last year, let's just be real, was on death's door, right? Mike Tyson last year spent, I don't know how many fucking days in a wheelchair, but he looked gaunt. He looked basically like one of the semi-underboss zombies that you would have to encounter on Call of Duty Zombies, right? You know the sort of ones that, you have to team up on a little bit to kill, but you've all got weapons and the zombies just rolling around on a fucking wheelchair. I don't even know if that was there a COD Zombies where there was one in a wheelchair? There will be soon, because inclusion. What do you mean there's no disabled zombies? What, are you a fucking bigot? Fucking misogynistic prick. Don't know why that makes you a misogynist, but it could be. It could be. But yeah, basically, Mike Tyson was on death's door just a couple of years ago, or it might even a year ago. I saw videos of him in a wheelchair being pushed. He weren't even fucking pushing himself. The man had fucking polio. It looked like he did. He didn't actually have polio. But how anyone thought that Mike Tyson was going to suddenly become, take fucking 30 years off his age and become this absolute monster. And there may be a point to some people of, obviously, there's the entire fucking conspiracy about all the fucking Jake Paul fights that are all rigged, blah, blah, blah. Which I don't believe 100%. I do get some of the, like, some people mentioned about the Tyron Woodley fight where, there was some, like, almost signal for Jake to throw the punch that eventually knocked him out. Okay. But then I don't really see why he would purposely lose to, or he'd purposely lose to Jake Paul other than money. I understand that. But then there was the fight against the, what was his name? It was Tyson again, but it wasn't Mike Tyson. It was the cousin or the brother of, was it Tommy Fury? I might be wrong. Let me have a look. Tommy Fury. Yeah, what is he to oh my god, I can't remember his name. This is good, isn't it? Tyson Fury. That's why I got it there. Tyson Fury, right. He's a relative of Tyson Fury's. I'm pretty sure he's either a cousin or brother, younger brother. I think he's younger brother. Well, I don't understand why he'd lose. If it was all rigged, I don't understand why he would lose to Tommy Fury. Because he lost to Tommy Fury. I don't think it was on points, I think. So I don't understand that. That's one blip in the conspiracy theory there. Some people will say, well, it makes it more believable because he lost that one to get people off his fucking back. So, well, not really, because you would understand why he would lose to Tyron Woodley, because Tyron Woodley actually had some half-decent pedigree in UFC, it must be said. But Tommy Fury wasn't really like a prolific boxer at the time. And in my humble opinion, he still isn't now. But it would make more sense for him to have lost to Tyron Woodley than it to Tommy Fury, in my opinion. I don't know a lot about boxing or UFC. It just, for me, I felt like Woodley was a bigger name in the UFC world, even then, compared to Tommy Fury when they fought together, Jake Paul and him. I don't know. Look, I'm just saying that I don't necessarily believe that every fight was rigged. Do I think there was probably things in the contract that are a bit sussy? Maybe. But one thing's for fucking sure, right? A lot of fucking people watched it. Over 60 million people, or 60 million households around the globe tuned in to the boxing match between Tyson and Jake Paul, which is insane. That's like pretty much, that is almost the entire population of the UK. It's insane. But it was a very, and I must admit, I've said it at the start. Well, I didn't say it at the start, but I said it when I started talking about the boxing. I didn't watch all the fight, and I'm glad I didn't. Not because, all right, I have Netflix, so, I could have watched it on Netflix if I really wanted to. I've got it, but it just didn't appeal to me. I'm not a massive boxing fan anyway. I'm interested in some fights, like the really big fights. Same with UFC. But it was just never going to be a spectacle. It was never going to be a spectacle. So, Jake Paul's been boxing for 4 years. Right, Mike Tyson made his debut in 1985, I think. But I don't know when he retired. I can't remember what age he was when he retired, right? The fight was only scheduled for 8 rounds in the heavyweight division, which meant there was no weight limit. And, I mean, I don't know how heavy Jake was compared to Tyson, but in the end, it doesn't matter because it was just such a massive age gap that it was never, ever going to be a spectacle that everyone hoped it would be. It's just one of those purely fantastical fights in someone's mind. Like, oh, get Mike Tyson back in the ring. I remember when he was slapping people's heads off left, right, and centre. Yeah, he weren't 58, though. He weren't doing that at 58. Jake won in unanimous decision, by the way, if you didn't know. I'm assuming most people watching this would know, considering it was like 5 days ago or 4 days ago. But it's just such a fucking... It's sad. It's sad because, in my mind, I didn't see a way that Jake lost that unless Jake just went in absolutely guns blazing and tried to go and knock Mike out. Because it was never, ever going to be a case of Mike Tyson outlasting Jake. Unless Jake decided to try and end the fight in the first or second round. That just makes logical sense to me. It's sad because you watch someone like Mike Tyson, who is boxing royalty. And although he came out and he said, after the fight, which in my opinion is complete bullshit, he said he won because he got the 20 mil or whatever it was the amount of money that he got for competing in the fight. But it's like, if you need the money, fair enough. Or if you want the money, fair enough. I get it. I wouldn't call it a win. I would call it very good business for what was entirely, by the looks of it, one of the shittest fights I have ever seen. I won't play any of the clips for obvious reasons, but I'm telling you, there wasn't really a punch thrown in anger. And Mike deserves the respect that he gets for the career that he's had. And that's where it should stop. Right? I'm not saying he should be banned from fighting anymore. I'm just saying that anyone who's hoping that Mike Tyson will rediscover his youth and start fucking impaling people with fucking hooks left, right, and centre probably need to take a little bit of a look at yourself in the mirror. Possibly throw yourself out of a top window. I don't know. It would have been interesting to see if this was like a pay-per-view fight, and if you had to pay for it, other than the subscription to Netflix. It would have been interesting to see how many people watched it then, because I don't think as many people would have watched it. And I think it would have got, obviously, less people, less eyes on it. But it really just wasn't a spectacle at all. To go from, a fighter who, previously has an 88% knockout record is crazy. It's crazy. And then you look at the absolute just disparity in what Mike Tyson was doing, 30 years ago. I don't even know when he retired. When he retired before he came back to fight Jake. But it was just awful. There were good points, right? And none of it was the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. I'm led to believe that the was it the Katie Taylor fight? Yeah, Serrano. Apparently that was a good fight. And it's good because, not to sound woke, but it's good that, that sort of fight gets on the undercard for this event and so many people get to see it and they get a good purse from the fight. Like a good, I don't know how much they made from it, to be honest, but a good few million at least each. Which is, numbers that you wouldn't be able to even comprehend normally. But yeah, it's I'm not saying it's without its positives, but honestly, the YouTube boxing stuff now, I was into it before. I'm not saying I was like a massive fan, but I was like, well, if it gets more people into the gym, if it gets more people into boxing, fair enough. After seeing the highlights, and I use the word highlights in quotation marks, ironically or sarcastically, because it was an absolute pile of dog piss. Actually, it was a pile of dog shit. Go further. Maybe it's the fucking blend of the two. Excrement really doesn't do enough justice to how shit this fight was. And Tyson took home 20 mil. So, actually, when you look at it, he was in the ring for about 50 minutes and got 20 mil. Maybe he is the winner. Maybe he is. But yeah, there's loads of boxers now fucking calling Jake Paul out because he's money, but he's Mr. Moneybags. He gets all the fucking money to these fighters, which is, it's fair enough. If he's opening up new avenues for people who go on the undercards of his fights and get exorbitant amounts of money that they wouldn't have got anywhere else, which is fair enough. But he got like fucking Daniel Dubois, who just like literally a couple of months ago beat Anthony Joshua, right? And they're two at you reaching their peak of their powers. All right, and Anthony Joshua probably slightly on the decline at the moment, but he's still of good fighting age, right? And he's calling Jake Paul out, and you're just like, can we stop now? Can we just shut the fuck up? Can we just, please? I mean, look, I'm not, like I said, I'm not the massive fan of boxing. So if that's the way it goes, that's the way it goes. If that's what people want to watch, that's what people want to watch. I'm not saying don't make it a democracy. I'm just saying, can we stop doing these fucking pointless fights? Maybe Dubai would be a good fight, to be fair, so I'll just change my mind. Fuck it. He's not 58 years old. He might actually do some damage to Jake Paul. And let's be honest, a lot of the people watching were praying that Tyson absolutely ended Jake Paul's life. There was a massive number of hate watchers just hoping that Mike caught him with at least one punch that was even slightly reminiscent of a punch that he would have thrown 30 years ago. But no, I think the hardest shot that Jake received was probably, I don't know, getting slapped by fucking like 8-year-old or something. I don't know. That's probably doing a bit too much of a disservice. Look, to be fair, Mike Tyson looked in shape. He looked pretty decent. I don't know if anyone saw, if they did watch. They showed his ass. Yep. It does sound weird. They showed his ass after an interview. I don't know why he was wearing this, but he had arseless chaps on. I don't know what was going on there. I don't know if he had like some sort of t-shirt or something tucked around his waist. But then when he turned round, he had nothing covering his ass. So his bare ass was out, and that was the highlight. I've never been more enthused for a Netflix fight, seeing someone's ass out. Let's go. Mike Tyson, absolute banging ass. 6 out of 10. That's probably a bit more than that. 7 out of 10. All right. He's the real winner. But anyway, that was kind of my thought on the boxing. Now I will move on from the boxing. I don't want to harp on it for too long, but that was my opinions on it. Obviously, let us know if you think it's a really good thing and you thought it was a good spectacle. Fair enough. Each to their own. I just think you're a load of fucking shit, and I think you're lying to yourself. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion on your opinion, and that's where it should stay. So, enough about boxing. Let's move on. And I will talk about gaming very, very briefly, because I've got to say this, right? I've got to say it. I fucking despise battle passes. The whole, like, I've been playing Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And, you know, for the most part, it is enjoyable. I think the maps are dog shit across the board. I think there's like 3 or 4 good maps. The vast majority of the weapons are awful. But there's like 5 to 10 weapons that are actually quite nice to use. Quite cool. Aesthetically cool. But what I cannot get behind, and I've said this before, I don't know if I've said it on this podcast, but I've definitely said it on a podcast, I'm sure, is the fucking skins, man. What the fuck is going on? Like, I know it's been a thing for a long time, but the skins are getting ridiculous. I sound like a boomer, but they're just fucking riddled with ADHD and fucking autism to the max. Maybe not autism, a bit too far, but ADHD for sure. So the battle pass dropped like a few days ago. There was an update for the game, which I'm like, here's the battle pass shit. It takes like, 20 minutes to download. It was an extra like 30 plus gig. Sick. I mean, the multiplayer version of the game, or section of the game, because you can choose to not have the single player campaign. I think that was about 100 and something gig. So it's already at like 130 gig anyway now, right? So adding on the single player content is probably an extra like 30, 40 gig. But PC can't handle that shit, mate. I've only got like 200 gigabytes of storage left. Let's just chill out. But anyway, I'll download it because I want to play the game. I go on multiplayer, and it is an ambush. You are fucking napalmed, assaulted with a fucking automatic light machine gun, unrelenting fire of just, here's the battle pass, pay for the battle pass, here's the free item you get when you get the battle pass, pay for the battle pass now, you prick, give us fucking money for the battle pass, you twat, fucking battle pass again. Can I just play the game? Can I just play the multiplayer game? Yes, but you have to make sure you exit out the battle pass and then go into the multiplayer. Why? I'm not a customer who is going to pay any money for any of the shit that you have. I probably won't even claim the free shit that you get periodically throughout the battle pass when you level up. I'm not the target audience, I understand, but when I'm running around on Nuketown, right, and I get fucking like omni movement to fuck, and I see this fucking orange glow just jump over the top of me, dive, and turn around and shoot me with what can only be described as a RGB to the max, titted out, fucking like Katie Price in her prime, tits to the max, ADHD 211, colours everywhere. I just get rifled, right? And then I explode into what can only be described as volcanic eruption style explosion. I'm like sat there just going like, 3 days ago I just would have saw blood and I would have died. Now I explode into basically the fucking eruption of Pompeii or Mount Vesuvius. You know? What's that about? I'm like sat there going, right, there's several things here. One, that's assaulted my senses. Alright? I'm not getting woke, but I may have some mild to severe epilepsy from just that fucking kill cam. Cheers. Thanks for that. Also, it annoys me, and it shouldn't do, but it does. It annoys me that some either, I don't care how old they are. I mean, there is an argument to say fucking people who aren't over the age of 18 should be playing the game. But let's be real, everyone's parents are shit. Mine included. I was playing Black Ops and World at War when you could dismember people, and I was probably about 12. And it was fucking sick. Take me back. Fucking great COD World at War. One of the best. Hands down. But I'm thinking to myself, after I've recovered from the mild seizure of, you know, exploding into Mount Vesuvius style, like lava eruption from a gunshot, right? After that, I'm thinking to myself, right, so this guy or this kid has either at the age that you are allowed to play the game at, has reached for either their parents' credit card or debit card or PayPal. I don't know if they use PayPal. Does anyone use PayPal? Yeah, there's still quite a few. I use PayPal. I don't really like it that much, but anyway, I'm not going to do a review of PayPal, just on impromptu review of PayPal. It's shit. No, I'm joking. It's all right. It's all right. But yeah, talking of ADHD, I just went off on another tangent. Fucking hell, it's affecting me. I'm now getting infected with ADHD, for fuck's sake. I can't play COD anymore. Right, but what annoys me is they've paid money to have that effect on the gun of their choice from the store in the game and have paid real money for that shit. And I'm like, sat there going, I wonder if they're going to fix the problems with the game, or when pricks like this pay money for skins and blowing people up in Mount Vesuvius style fucking eruptions, I wonder if they're going to just make more shit like that over fixing the game. Because there are issues with the game. If you played, I would say 75% of the time, you're getting killed from the rear. Because the spawn points, they're just fucked. You deal with it, you got your head on a fucking swivel, 24 fucking 7 on that game. And if you're playing on a map that's so small, like Nuketown, I honestly think you do better just 180 in, popping a couple of shots off, and seeing if you get some hit markers, and then just go from there. But it's absolute carnage. But what I can't stand is just the sheer amount of just asinine, ADHD riddled, fucking bullshit skins, fucking camos, operators, fucking emotes. The emotes in the game are the cringiest fucking thing I've ever seen. The 90% of the dialogue could be fucking wiped because all that shit is cringe. Like, you'll fucking shoot someone and your operator says something like, "That's another one down." It's like, what the fuck? Who the fuck told him to say that shit? I now don't want to play, right? I feel like a knobhead for even existing whilst playing this. Get to fuck. But yeah, I'm just saying that there are problems with the game, and some people won't see them as problems. Some people will say that, oh, I love the battle pass. I can buy this fucking gun that I don't have to unlock because I've already prestiged like 4 times. And I don't have to fucking, grind it out. I could just pay like £5 for a fucking weapon. I could fucking absolutely slay, mate. I mean, maybe I'm just bitter that I don't have enough disposable income, or I don't have the, let's say I don't have the gateway in my mind that can just open up and discard the morals. I will just put it on a credit card because it's a worthwhile purchase. And you look through my credit report, and it's got multiple transactions to Activision, Microsoft, for multiple skins and fucking camos. It does your fucking credit score good, as long as you pay it off. It's just, I don't know. Look, maybe I'm being too boomery about it. Stay hydrated over it, everyone. It's a tough world out there. I just hate the fucking unnecessary shit like the glowing fucking weapons. Right. This is meant to be a game. I'm not saying it's realistic because they've just put Omni movement in the game that allows you to basically swan dive and 360 no scope at the same time. It's not realistic. Right, but there's some resemblement of reality in the game before the battle pass. Was that, oh, there's a guy with a gun, I can see the sniper scope, he's going to shoot me. Oh, look, I'm dead. I can see the blood, and I'm respawning. Now, it's like, what is that green, orange fucking hue that is to my periphery? Oh, it's the fucking new shitty camo and fucking weapon that shoots fucking dildos. Great. That's not actually in the game, because if they put a gun that shot dildos, it would be funny, but also it wouldn't be too, like, it would be too funny for them to do, but also it wouldn't be enough for people who wanted the shiny shit. So if they did like RGB dildos getting shot, I think they'd clean up. But anyway, what I'm saying is, ever since the Battle Pass, I'm slowly despising the game. I don't mind getting killed by someone who's using a familiar gun. I'm like, oh, cool. They got some, they got the drop on me there. Fair enough. But when I'm getting like fucking just absolutely clipped with some multicolored RGB fucking Katie Price shattered fucking piece of equipment that I don't even know if it resembles a gun, I'm like, oh, I might need to switch off for a bit. I might need to. Anyway, look, enough about Call of Duty. There is stuff they need to fix. And I don't think they're going to fix the things that I want them to fix, which is the fucking skins. I implore you, if you have any respect for me and yourself, and I don't want to say it's detrimental to the game, but it fucking is, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Like, I feel like if the studios didn't spend as much time on fucking graphic designing a fucking glowing pistol, I really feel like the game could be improved by making different adjustments. But fair enough. There is an argument that, the people who make the fucking skins wouldn't necessarily work on the same things that would make the game better from a gameplay stance anyway. But I'm just saying, it's not for me. Please, just if you've got any respect for me or yourself, don't buy skins, don't buy camos. You can accept the free stuff in the Battle Pass. Don't buy the Battle Pass, you fucking bitch. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it, you fucking bitch. Don't do it. You goddamn fucking bitch. Don't do it. Rant. Over. We'll move on to another game. So, Stalker 2 is out now. I haven't played any because I did say the rant was over. This is going to be another rant. A very quick one, though. Right. So, I wanted to play Stalker 2 today. I was like, sick, it's coming out. Let's go. I'll get it pre-installed. It tells me I can pre-install it. So, I go on that fucking Xbox app that is on the PC, which, by the way, is still utter shite after about 4 or 5 years. Anyway, that's something they said they were going to fix. It's utter shite, right? I'll click on it, pre-download, pre-install. I'm like, sick. When I come home on the 20th, I'll be able to play it. I even did that thing where you wait, even off the off chance that I could play it at midnight. So last night, I was up here on my PC, sorting shit out. We recorded an episode of the Drip podcast. I edited that. I had about 20 minutes until midnight, and I was like, I wonder if I wait until midnight, if I click on that Stalker 2 game, will it load up? Of course it didn't. I was a little bit disappointed, but I expected it because there's been multiple times where that has happened. And I can't even change my time zone on my PC because it doesn't register it. I know that's happened before with when I tried to play Starfield early. But I'm like, cool, well, I have it pre-installed anyway, so it will just download throughout the day, or throughout the night, rather. And then I'll be able to play it when I come home. And I come home, I go on my PC, Xbox app. The fucking game is updating. And I'm like, okay, maybe there's a day one patch. I'll look at the details. 150 gig update. I'm like, motherfucker, that's the game. That's the entire game. You fucking prick. What was the fucking point of me pressing pre-install? Was it just so it is there available for me to download when it does come out? If so, a pointless step. Why the fuck did it not download the necessary files to play the game and then allow me to play it upon release? Mate, I'm fucking clueless. Like, there might be a security reason why they don't do that, because people might be able to play it early by, doing the little fucking hacks. I sound like a boomer again. He's hacking. But yeah, I'm just a little bit disappointed. But I'll be playing it. I'm very excited. I love the post-apocalyptic sort of setting. The game looks fucking difficult, and I've played Stalker before with, I'm pretty sure I've talked about it on the pod before, where I had to fucking key bind on a controller, because I can't play games on keyboard and mouse. I just can't do it. I can barely play them on a fucking controller, right? So I had to key bind to the controller what keys did what on the keyboard and match them or assign them to do whatever they were meant to do on a controller. It went horrifically. Movement was about the only thing that went well, apart from sprinting, because that just didn't work. I also couldn't swap weapon properly. I could aim down the sight, but it was a bit fucking shit, right? I played the original via a mod. It was hard, and it was even harder because it was really hard to control, because I was using a controller that wasn't fully supported. This time round, controller support is 100% there on Stalker 2, and I can't wait to play the game. I really think it's going to be good. All the footage that I've seen so far, I haven't watched any reviews yet. I don't really like to do that until I've played some of the game, and if there's a creator that I like who's done a review, I look at the review and I'm like, I either agree with them or I don't. Sometimes it's just interesting to see someone's take on something or someone's opinion on something, even that you found really good about the game, and then they just rip it to shreds. I'm not one of these people who's like, oh, that's fucking shit. That's made me feel shit about the game. Meh, meh, meh. My purchase has been ruined. Meh, meh, meh. Because there are a lot of people like that. You make one criticism of a game, and they're like, yeah, you're a fucking hater. Meh, meh, meh. Well, I'm fucking glad I purchased this fucking Dragon Age Valguard, you fucking bastard. Meh. Look, just everyone's got opinions, alright? Just fucking chill out. If you like the game, fucking play the game. Alright? If you liked Concord, there's a reason why it no longer exists. Alright? Just shut the fuck up. Alright? If you like the game, shut the fuck up and play it. And if you don't like the game, shut the fuck up and don't play the game. Doesn't mean you can't say you don't like the game and these are the reasons why. I'm just saying you shouldn't necessarily attack people for liking a game that you don't like. I know I just did. I'm not perfect. Alright? Never claimed to be. I'm just saying, just chill out. But yeah, Stalker 2 looks good. It's one of those games that I think is going to take a lot of people, not necessarily by surprise, because I feel like it's a franchise that has been dormant for a long time, obviously. But it's got quite a cult following, and I really think that now it being on mainstream consoles, mainstream console in Xbox, and being available on PC, I really feel like it's going to hit off now, and it could turn into something bigger. And apparently they have stayed true to a lot of the things that they did in the original Stalker games. The difficulty being one. The decisions that you make do affect the outcome of, factions, how they treat you, the story of the game. There was an instance where someone said that they stole or looted a dead body of someone they were meant to protect, and then the faction that person belonged to then hated the player. They then actively sought out to kill the player because they felt betrayed. And that's something that's really interesting, because when I'm playing a game, I'm basically, I'm fucking Sir Loot a lot. If there's something to loot and I've got space to carry the bastard, it's going in the backpack. I don't care what it is. Especially early game. Early game, fucking Fallout 4, I was picking up fucking rat roach meat. It was in my bag. Was I ever going to consume it? No. But there was space. So that bastard was going in there. So this game is going to be a lot about managing your resources. Interesting take on, like, kind of, there's no leveling up in the game. You just gradually get, obviously, more currency, better gear by doing further missions or side quests. You can find things looted. There's an element of randomness to the loot, but also set positions for set weapons and set items in the game. There are things called anomalies that if you figure out how to get to them and how to navigate the natural, or the unnatural rather, sort of powers or circumstances that you find yourself in because of the anomalies, you can get basically upgrades from the anomalies that you find, which is an interesting way of kind of replacing leveling up with finding stuff that gives you unique upgrades. So yeah, it looks really cool. I'm really interested to play it, and obviously I will let people know what I think, but I am disappointed I haven't actually got it running right now, because I was planning to play it after work, but that obviously has not happened. I know I've said it before, Indiana Jones is one I'm looking forward to as well. That comes out in December. And it's been overdue. Indiana Jones has been overdue a fucking game. 100%. Like, the last couple of films have not been amazing. I mean, as an indie fan, and I say I'm not like an absolutely diehard Indiana Jones fan, it's more nostalgic for me, which is a very, very special feeling or emotion. You feel nostalgic about something, you remember it at its absolute peak. So, you know, when the Crystal Skull came around, I didn't think the movie was shit at the time. I thought it was alright. I don't think it was anywhere near the first three, but then you watch it back like several years later and you're like, this is utter fucking dirty wank. It's just, I don't want to say cash grab, because it was due a fourth movie. I really feel like Harrison Ford is just one of those where you look at him, you go, he deserves to have another outing as Indy, right? Just like he deserved to have another outing in Blade Runner 2049. Great fucking film, by the way. Loved it. So that's an example of a film that's done well. Interestingly enough, it was made by, is his name Denis Villeneuve or something like that? Or Villeneuve? Same guy who's done the Dune Part 1 and Part 2. Amazing films. Right? So expect nothing less. He's a very good director. But the last two Indiana Jones films have been entirely poo-poo. Let's be honest. But the nostalgia's still there. I'm looking forward to it. And, yeah. I'll be down. I'll be playing it. It's on Game Pass. It'll probably let me pre-install it and then won't install it until the day of release. Probably have like a 15 fucking gig patch on day one. And I'll be loving life. Digital games are fucking shit. Like, I preferred, as a boomer, I'm going to sound like a boomer again, as the millennial boomer that I am, games were much simpler and easier and more enjoyable when you played them on disc. I'm just saying. Discs are dying. Digital is the way that it's going. I understand. It was at first we did fight in the PS4 era, where everyone was like, when the Xbox One was basically waging war against fucking people sharing games physically with each other, and they made the entire console basically a cable box, and then had the great idea of bundling Kinect with every single Xbox. Like, you couldn't buy an Xbox without the Kinect. And then precisely about 5 games came out for the Kinect that actually used the Kinect in any decent way. And now it's primarily used either by Ocado, interesting fact, by Ocado to scan items as they go through like this series of robotic controls where they basically assign people a shopping cart and it goes into their order, or by paranormal investigators like us. Who saw that coming? Whoever was creating the Kinect never would have thought that these two things, or this fucking camera, this, let's say, glorified iToy, probably, but it's a bit better than an iToy. That's a bit harsh. Is going to be used in paranormal investigations. You just didn't see it coming. Oh, Jesus. Well, thank you everyone for watching. I really do appreciate your support. And if this helps in any way, getting you through the day, or it makes your drive to or from work a little bit more enjoyable, or makes it feel like less time has passed, I'm there for it, and I'm happy that it does for you. If you fucking hate watch it or listen to it, hey, look, thanks for being there as well. I appreciate you nonetheless. I appreciate all the members that we have on the channel, the VIPs. You've been very, very loyal. Lots of people there who have been in, I'd say easily like over 2 years. So there's a lot of you. I don't forget about you. Obviously, I make the VIP members podcast every 2 weeks. You get an extra podcast, especially for you guys. It's $4.99 if you are interested. Obviously, it's not an obligation. You don't have to. But if you do want to see more podcasts, for whatever reason, if you do enjoy this and you want to see more of this mug and listen to more of this fucking voice, get on it. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching and listening. I will see you in the next one. Up the APMA. Bye-bye for now.